Today, we are going to make some grass. No, I'm not in Colorado, so it's not going to be that kind of grass. It's our techniques that are so simple and sensible, your mothers have practically built themselves. Hello folks, it's Mad Dog Merv. Welcome to the Kit Hoarders stash, and moreover, happy 4th of July. Today, well, it's a very special day for Mad Dog. I love to celebrate the 4th of July. Next to Halloween, it's probably my most favorite holiday. What I wanted to do today is, instead of reviewing a kit, I thought we would look at some of the already built things that I have. And you know, this is a day that we celebrate our independence. And how I like to celebrate it is by honoring those that paid for that freedom. So, I'm going to show you some of the kits that I've built over the years and some of the things, displays, whatnot that I've done that have to do with independence, Independence Day. You know, I'm not somebody who likes to glorify war, but there was a price paid for our freedom. And one of the things I'm going to do is I have I have 3 sisters, and I have, they've all married very well. And I have these brother-in-laws, is what you would call them. To me, I just call them brothers. But this one in particular recently gave a wonderful speech at, it was a Memorial Day celebration. He's a Marine Corps Lieutenant Colonel, so obviously I'm very proud of him. We have we have a great heritage in my family of military people. So I'm going to share with you his speech while we look at some of the kits, some of the models that have been built over the years by Mad Dog, having to do with the 4th of July. Hope you enjoy it. So here's my brother-in-law David, and this is a speech that he gave at a event on Memorial Day just a few months ago. And I felt that it was very important, this message, and that it was very poignant and appropriate for the 4th of July as well. It's very short, it's less than 5 minutes long, so if you would indulge, please. Without further ado, here we go. Greetings. I am Lieutenant Colonel David Slawinski, United States Marine Corps. Now, I have a reason for stressing United States. A long time ago, as a newly minted major, I was waiting to cross the street in downtown Denver. Dressed in my alphas, the serge green uniform with khaki shirt and tie. Looking good, feeling good, when a young woman, dressed in business attire, walked up to me and asked, "In what country's armed forces are you in?" I was amazed, shocked, dismayed, and a few other things by the question. In years past, I have thought about the encounter and have a different reaction now, but I will pick up the story later. As you may know, this year marks the 100th anniversary of the American Legion, and just past was the 75th remembrance of D-Day. There are other notable anniversaries coming up this year, but today we gather to remember those who have fallen, protecting us and our nation. Memorial Day celebrates all who have died protecting this nation. Men, women, black, white, and everything in between. Those of faith, those who were not. Immigrants who wanted to be an American. The known, the unknown. We honor all equally. They say in combat, soldiers do not fight for any high ideals or principles. They fight for each other. Perhaps true. Well, at the time true. But it is important to remember what brought the individual to such a situation. They did not join the armed forces to protect their buddies they haven't met yet. But what power, what motivation got that soldier into that fighting hole in the first place? Why willingly go to a foreign land with an uncertain future? They joined to protect country, community, and family. Those drafted and departed for foreign soils answered the nation's call as good citizens, and for the same reasons. With number in hand, they fulfilled their duty. They served with distinction, pride, and many died for you. But what did they truly fight for? Their goals? Was their sacrifice worth it? I believe they knew. In the last stanza of the poem, Flanders Field, the author defiantly wrote, "Take up our quarrel with the foe. To you from falling hands we throw. The torch be yours to hold it high." Urging, taunting, daring his fellows on, and on to what? An epitaph from Yepers reads, "Went the day well, we died and never knew. But well or ill, freedom, we died for you." Another epitaph from a different war. "When you go home, tell them of us and say, for your tomorrow we gave our today." The young lady in Denver, who did not know what country I was from, was given a gift by these fallen service members. For most Americans, war has not touched them. Our cities have not been razed. Our land has not been scorched. We have not been occupied. Our citizens need not know of weapons, uniforms, and combat. And that is a special gift. With few exceptions, our armed services have kept America's enemy away from our homes. In modern times, nearly all of our battles have been fought on enemy soil. That is a special gift. Even as we mourn our dead and recall their lives in fond memories, it is most important we remember and celebrate the gifts we have so unselfishly had bestowed upon us. Celebrate our freedoms. Celebrate our futures. Celebrate our families and the lives we lead. Thank you for celebrating with me this day. So we've been scrolling through some of the different models that I've built over the years in regards to particularly World War II, but some other things as well that have to do with our freedom. Things like the Battle of Tarawa, the Battle of Midway, Pearl Harbor, and the USS Utah. I've also put in the USS Enterprise, CV-6, one of the most important pieces in the Pacific War in World War II. Here we've got some aircraft from the August 1st, 1943 raid on the oil fields of Ploesti. And a couple of these aircraft here were flown by men from the state of Utah. We have Walt Stewart's Utah Man, and the one that Hugh Roland Roper flew, who was his best friend and pilot for a while, and that was the Exterminator. And if you have not heard or seen about that story, there is a video out called Wing and a Prayer, the story of Utah Man, and I highly recommend you look at it. Amazing. But then I also have the leader, the Congressional Medal of Honor recipient, Addison Baker, who flew lead in that group in an aircraft called Hell's Wench. And I modeled this after a Roy Granelli painting of Hell's Wench going over the refineries at Ploesti on fire, and how Colonel Baker received his Medal of Honor. Also here we have some scenes from the Wendover Museum, where I've put together some displays, this cutaway B-17, honoring the training that took place at Wendover, Utah. I've also got some tanks that represent the Battle of the Bulge and what happened there, the sacrifices there that were made in order to ensure that Europe did not fall to the Germans. Here I am honoring the African American fighting effort in World War II with this tank destroyer. And then I kind of switched to the Pacific, which has always been my first love, the Pacific War in World War II, and a tank from Okinawa, that was there, and this particular one from Iwo Jima, and the little bottle of sand from Iwo Jima that was paid for with the blood of very many Marines, model of the Enola Gay, and some other B-29s that I have built for the Wendover Museum to kind of depict the end of the war, the dropping of the atomic bomb, and although it did cost a lot of civilian lives in Japan, the saving of probably close to 1 million American lives from a invasion that we did not have to make. So thanks for joining us this 4th of July, and your major disaster thanks you as well. Hope you folks have a wonderful celebration and enjoy our freedom.